You okay, buddy? Nothing to see over here.
N32 stolen vehicle situation underway.
Acknowledged.
You have the right to remain silent.
Bad boys. What you gonna do? Well, whatever it is you're gonna do it all at the same time, because I can only run after one of you. Yeah, if Pokemon is gotta catch 'em all, the precinct is more like, oh, you're getting mocked out there. Oh, you see that car over there? It's parked in front of the fire hydrant, and 2 more tickets, and I get to open a new region where I can give out more parking tickets, so sucks to be you. Quotas! Gotta fill them. Anyway, this is my review of the precinct. Let's start.
All units, we've got a 911 report of a 1031 burglary in progress in Jonasville.
84, Adam, show us handling.
Right, so usually I start with the story, but before I get into the story, we gotta ask ourselves a little question here. Is this game story-driven, or is it a police simulator game? After pondering that question a little bit, I've come to the conclusion that this is a little bit of both, but not really either. I mean, I'd say this is kind of a lousy story-driven game and also kind of lousy simulator game. I'm not saying the game's bad, that's gonna require some explaining, and I'm about to get to that first with the story. The story of this game is you're Nick Cordell Jr. and your papa, Nick Cordell Sr., got killed in the line of duty. So you always wanted to be a cop, so you're fresh out from the police academy and handing out parking tickets. There's also 2 gangs in the city, and both gangs have 3 bosses. And while you're, solving crimes like giving parking tickets and stopping muggings and giving fines to people who litter, you at the same time accumulate some evidence against both gangs. And once you get enough evidence, one of the bosses opens up and you can go after them. What's that got to do with the whole your papa got murdered and possibly finding his murderer? Not much, really. Like when the game starts, it explains how your dad got killed, and pretty much the last mission of this game, you get to find out who the killer is, and you get to have a little showdown with the killer, and that's about it when it comes to storytelling. It's usually in simulator games, story isn't required. Sometimes they do give, I remember I played Autobahn Police Simulator 2 or 3, I can't remember which, but fucking sucked. I have the review on my channel if you want to go check it out. But yeah, sometimes for some weird reason simulator games want to throw in the story in the simulator too, so I don't know, you'll be more compelled when you're doing mundane stuff that you do in that particular simulator. In this case, it's a cop game, which I said is quite not simulator, but semi-simulator. Anyway, yeah, the story is about as deep as you'd expect from simulator games. It's there, it's a good enough excuse to keep you moving, and who really gives a shit? I mean, after I beat the game, I kind of just want to do more cop stuff, and that's about it. I couldn't give 2 shits about the story. The story was what it was. It was just really short. The story element, and the game's short too, but the story elements especially, they were like, if this is the game, the story elements were like this. I feel like they could have thrown in a couple of story missions there in the middle, like 2 or 3. Something that kind of keeps the intrigue. Maybe you'll chase someone and before they die, they whisper to you, I know who killed your daddy. Or something like that, I don't know, but something. Now it's just kind of, it starts, you get the background story, and you play the game, you do cop shit, and the final mission of the game hits, and here's the killer, and do your stuff. Yeah, not really too much more in the story. I believe they're making some DLC, so there might be little more story-driven aspects coming, so, that would be kind of cool. I'd enjoy that, but yeah. This game takes place in the 80s, 1983 to be exact, which is the greatest year of them all, because that's when my daddy inserted his seeds inside my mommy and I was made. I came in this world 1983. That's cool. Oh, and also if you're expecting like 80s cop movie stuff, it's more like 80s cop TV series stuff. This is more like Hill Street Blues than Lethal Weapon or something like that. This ain't 48 hours. But that's what I got out of this game when it comes to the storytelling. Pretty little. Come in! Ah, it's our newest recruit straight from the police academy. Now tell me, son, What made you want to become a police officer?
Well, sir, you see, my dad was a cop and he got shot in the line of duty, so I just want to follow in his footsteps.
Well, that's a bit weird, but alright.
Ah, son of a...
I got a tip on Weaver. She's on the rooftop on Portalo Hill, right by the gas station. Better get there quick though, she's a restless one.
Then there's the gameplay, and let me tell you, this is isometric view. You can probably see from the video behind me. Isometric view, kind of old school GTA style game, except you're a cop, so you can't really go on a rampage. You have to obey the laws and be a good cop. But yeah, I was actually really enjoying this game. Like I said, it doesn't take itself too seriously. It's not exactly simulator, it's more arcade. It has some simulator elements in it, but I'd say this is more arcadey action than a simulator. But it does have a lot of the, mundane cop stuff, so it's not like bang 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 action all the time. More streamlined look at police officers' day at the job. Let's just say that. It kind of makes it more approachable, easier to get into, if you wanna fulfill your dream and become a cop. This is like easy level of being a cop. Easy to get into. I really enjoyed the driving. It's kind of it's smoother. It reminds me of. It's kind of in the middle grounds of the first GTA game and GTA 3. It's 3D, but it doesn't. It's not third-person view. It's kind of it stays isometric. You can see pretty good in the front though, so it's not like the first GTA where if you're driving fast and there's someone in front of you, you barely have any time to react to that, and you usually just crash. This one actually fixes that problem great with its style, with the isometric style and being 3D and all. So yeah, I really enjoyed that. It makes the driving more fun than in the first GTA. I love the first GTA, but it has its limitations. So yeah, the driving. You'll be doing a lot of driving in this game, so the driving, how is it? It felt first kind of loose when I started playing this, but like hour or 2 hours in, it kind of actually started to feel pretty good, It took me not too much time before I was kind of mastering the handbrake turns and all that around the corners, and yeah, I was really enjoying that. Towards the end of the game, I was enjoying it even more. The more I played, the more I got out of it. Also, this one does have shooting. It's not a shooter, really. I mean, you get to do some shooting, but mostly it's giving out parking tickets and trying to stop criminals without lethal force. There are only certain situations that you can actually use lethal force, so you gotta be really careful with the gun. Don't be too trigger happy. Like I said, this ain't GTA. But once you get to shooting, it's pretty basic cover shooter. You go to cover and all the enemies are behind their covers, and you pop out and you shoot. I kinda liked it because this one does things a bit differently than usually shooters do. It's got, L2, I played on PlayStation, so L2 and R2. R2 shoots, L2 is what you use to aim. I don't think you can shoot in this without aiming. I don't think I even tried that, because it just said, L2 you point and R2 you shoot. Probably something I should have tried. Well, who gives a shit? You're a cop, you should aim. You don't want to hit innocent civilians. You actually... the missions, they fail if you hit civilians. I know I did that. Shotgun, that's especially when you're shooting from long distances, be prepared for civilian casualties. That shit just spreads, so it might hit a lot of places it shouldn't. But yeah, once you press L2, you get a little crosshair and you can move it up and down, wherever, and it's kind of a nice system. I like that. I like when people do something new, It's not always just the same thing, R2, you just keep on shooting and pow pow pow. That's what they do in every other game. So yeah, this one kind of tries something new, and it does make it more strategic, the shooting and all that, when you're behind the cover, because this isn't Max Payne. You're not doing slow motion dual wielding jumps and shooting everything to shit. You are a cop, so it does emphasize more on that cop side and being a rookie and all that. But like I mentioned, you're a cop, so oftentimes you have to take someone in alive. It's not they're alive, just alive. So you also have taser, and you have your nightstick, which I'm not sure how's that supposed to work in this game, because I found it to be pretty goddamn useless. I tried it a few times. Again, I think you press the L2 and R2, you swing it, but it really didn't seem to do anything. It was just way more easier to get near the perp, press X, so you tackle him, or you try to forcefully submit him and arrest them. How it works is if you're running after a perp, the X kind of tackles them. So, you know, that's kind of easy, and then you just press square and they get arrested. But if the perps are fighting back, then when you press X, there's this little bar, you have to tap the X, so you'll kind of wrestle them down and arrest them. But it was really easy like that too, so the nightstick was fucking useless. It didn't really work on that. I like the system when you're shooting, but when you're doing close combat, it just didn't really work. The taser works like a gun. Again, you target and shoot. I didn't use much of the taser either, because I don't know, when you have to take someone alive, it was just so much easier for me to just run after them and tackle them. I don't know, it just seemed to work. Also, I like how you have a partner in this, and they, a couple of times, they used the taser, and I was in the line of fire, so I got fucking tased. It's got that kind of GTA feel to it, where you feel like anything could happen, which I just dig that. Yeah, sure, it kind of pissed me off at the moment if someone was getting away and my partner decided to taser me. That's a kind of a dick move. You shouldn't do that if you're a cop. It enhances the randomness feel of this game, which I really dug. I always liked that in GTA because they were kind of bucky and shit like that. It felt like anything could happen at any point of time. So yeah, that's really great. I think games like this that are open world, I feel like bugs sometimes they enhance the experience because they can make something that's totally unexpected just happen out of nowhere. I always dig that. As long as they're not game breaking bugs. And this game had some of those bugs that were kind of more fun than annoying. Although I don't think getting tasered by a partner is a bug. That's actually just me running in front of him while he's trying to tase the bad guy. That's my bad. I also have police chopper, which is great. That's kind of fun. I mean, you don't really get to do too much while you're in that chopper, but those are kind of fun. It brings variety to mission structure, you know? You fly around the city, you see someone speeding or maybe someone getting mugged, and pretty much all you have to do is keep your light on the perp and follow them around so, you know, they don't get lost. It's pretty easy. Those were like the easiest missions probably in this, well, after giving out parking tickets, but still. And the way it works is kind of fun, because you see a perp, you put the light on them, and you gotta kind of stay close to them, or keep them in the light. And while you keep them in the light, there's this bar that fills, and I think it starts with 2 bars, and later on, you know, you get to upgrade your guy, you get 3 or 4 bars. 4 bars was probably the max, but you get to call backup. You can call like beat cops, which are like 1 bar, and then there's a regular cop car, which is 2 bars. And I think if you, not roadblocks, but set up that mat that has those spikes, I can't remember what it is in English. Fuck, well, you know what I mean, that thing that pops your tires, you can call for that. And I like how it kind of tries to guess where the perp is going, and then it just puts the spike mat over there, and yeah. Hopefully the perp drives over that and loses his tires. Also, you do get roadblocks which work the same way. They kind of try to guess where the perp's going, and then they put a roadblock in front of them. But I gotta say, the roadblock, that requires 3 bars, and it was probably the most useless thing in this game, in my opinion. It's just, they have a couple of cop cars, there are a couple of cops, and then the perp usually swerves around them. Or turns around or something. It's just, the roadblock was just kind of useless. Or maybe I'm missing something here, some nuance that it gives to the chase sequences. I mean, it is kind of cool idea, the roadblock, but it never really worked. So tell me, this is now your 3rd day at the job, right?
Yes, sir. 3rd day. First day I was doing some foot patrol, and 2nd day I was doing some car patrol.
Great! So you have mastered those then. Well, since this is your 3rd day, you get to fly the chopper now.
I've never flown a chopper before. Don't you think I need some kind of license first?
Nonsense, this is the 80s. We don't need licenses for anything. All you have to know is how to sit down and point your flashlight at things. You do know how to do that, don't you?
Yeah, I believe I can sit down and point things with my flashlight, sir.
Great! It's basically the same, but up in the air.
That doesn't sound too bad, so... okay then.
But yeah, even though this game has shootings and chases, this also does have a lot of mundane cop stuff, which I kind of like. You know, you see someone litter, you go and give them a fine, and possibly spray paint walls, you go and give them a fine. You can pat them down, see if they have some narcotics or maybe illegal weapons or contraband. It usually tells you if they need to go to jail or if they can just get off with fine. Also, when there's people you need to arrest, you have to read them their rights. You know, you put the cuffs on and you press square and the guy reads them their rights. It's shortened. It's not that whole thing they say in movies I've seen and apparently in real life. I don't know, because I've never been arrested in USA, so or anywhere else either. But yeah, your character basically just says you have the right to remain silent, and that's about it. Then after that, you have to tell them what they did wrong. You know, you have to pick. There's a few menus, and this can be kind of tricky. There's like one thing that I never fucking got right. I mean, I got it right at times, but I can't remember if it was evading arrest or something. But it says in the description, ran away or tried to put up a fight, pretty much, or something like that. Yeah. Basically, it's making the arresting more harder than it needs to be, being a dick. Sometimes when they ran short distance or put up a little fight, but I overpowered them immediately, I still picked that, and it said that it was wrong. That's kind of weird. But yeah, anyways, when you see a person do something, you know, they might be mugging someone, then running away, and maybe stealing a car while they're running away. You have to pick all those two there, and I mean, you don't have to sweat it. If you pick a wrong one, you know, you accuse the person of doing something they didn't do. It's a little penalty on the experience you get, but it's really not that much. Kind of fun aspect that brings in more the simulation feel, but like I mentioned, they don't penalize you too much for picking the wrong one, so it never feels too, like it leans too hard on the simulation side. It's more arcadey simulation than simulation. But yeah, that's pretty much what you do in this game. There's also illegal street races where you kind of, you go undercover. It's races around the map. You drive those races, you try to win, and yeah, that's about it. You get experience. Also, there's time trials. You know, certain laps or certain route you need to take in certain amount of time, which those are cop missions. Driving practice, pretty much. So yeah, basic stuff. Also, there's hidden jumps, which are, if you like to collect those, you can go and go over those and jump. I did few. I didn't really feel necessary to do all of them. Then every day you start your shift. There's usually 4 choices they recommend to you, which might be like, here you have to go around and give parking tickets in a certain area of the town. And other one might be that you drive around certain blocks and, you know, try to find perps. And one might be chopper mission, and one might be giving out parking tickets at some place. And usually there's some quotas. If you fill those, you get to open up new areas where you can go and do the same stuff. But also you can customize your own shit, which is kind of cool, you know. If you want to focus on the parking tickets, you want to get all those done in every block, you can just pick the block where you haven't given enough parking tickets, you can go and do that. And you can pick the time limit also, because the shifts usually come in 6 hours, 8 hours, 10 hours, 12 hours, and I think 24 hours. It never recommended 24 hours. I saw that was an option there when you want to customize. I usually just pick one of those that they recommended. If they were something that you know, you could actually gain something, like I was still missing parking tickets in this part of the town, so yeah, I just picked that and went there and gave those goddamn parking tickets. And after you're done with your shift, it gives you experience based on how much crimes you solved or parking tickets you gave and stuff like that. Obviously, different types of crimes give you different amount of experience, like shootouts give you more than just parking ticket, obviously. And once you get enough experience, you get to a new level, and you get skill points, because nowadays every game gives you skill points, and there's 4 categories. It's pretty generous how it gives you experience. It's usually 1 shift and you get 1 level. At least for me it was like that. So, you know, after every shift I got usually 1 level, and I got 1 skill point. And once you get more levels, you also open up or unlock stuff like new weapons, new cars, But could be some new skill sets too, you know, like, well, at some point I got a scanner that started beeping every time I was close to these hidden art objects that you also have to gather in this, because this one, it's an open world map, you got stuff to collect. And basic stuff like that pretty much. But yeah, gameplay leans more into the arcade than the simulation style. And you go around, solve crimes, stop perps, collect evidence. It's fun. I really enjoy it. You know, it's like I said, not too serious. It doesn't take too seriously the simulation side. And it doesn't penalize you too much. Unless you shoot innocent civilians, then it's always mission fail. Then there's graphics and sounds. You can see the game behind me. I like the style, pleasing to the eye. I also like that everything almost breaks when you drive through them, you know, like just fences and garbage cans and all that, you know, you can break all those so they don't slow you down when you're chasing someone behind an alley or people's backyards or something like that. So yeah, it looks nice, you know, when everything just breaks when you drive through them. So yeah, I do like the city. It's got some 80s neon kind of noir vibes when you drive around, especially during nighttime. So yeah, that is really cool. I do love that. And yeah, overall, just graphically, it is an indie game or AA game. I'm not I'd say this is probably more indie game. Looks nice. I really dig it. And sound-wise, yeah, it takes place in the 80s, so it's got some of that 80s synthesizer music too, ambience. I don't remember really hearing too many songs. During the end credits there was one, which was cool. Voice acting's alright. Although I do have to say, when there's cutscenes, they're really weird at times. I mean, there's pictures of all the people that are in the room talking. So, you know, when someone talks, the character just kind of lights up and moves in the front, and then there's text and voice acting. Pretty basic stuff. I'm okay with that. You know, it worked in this. This didn't have like too many cutscenes throughout it, so you know, it works here. Now the thing that makes it weird is that, well, I actually kind of remember one cutscene that because every time someone talks, they talk, then there's a little pause, someone else starts to talk. There was this one cutscene where there were a lot of people laughing, and I thought that was just really hilarious how kind of crappy it was or sounded. One person just kind of lit up, then did their ha ha ha, then it came back. Another person came up, lit up, and they were like, ha ha ha, and then they came back. And it takes those little pauses, and everyone gets their turn. And they did a lot of laughing during that one cutscene. Yeah, in the future you might just want to light up a couple of characters at the same time and do some kind of group laugh thing happening, sound in the background. It comes off more natural. Here, that was weird. When it comes to characters in this game, they were alright. Like I said, they talk more like 80s cop shows, Hill Street Blues, not like 80s cop movies where they can sometimes get real filthy. I liked it, it was alright. It was something that kept the game moving on. So yeah, nothing to write home about, nothing to blew me away or anything like that, but not too bad. It was alright. Then we get to negatives in this game, and yeah, they were bugs. There was actually one bug that made me had to restart the game. That was annoying. There was a perp who stopped his car right next to a wall, and then he exited the car, and I was like, where the hell is he? So I drove next to him, and I was also against the wall, so I exited the car. We both dropped under the city, and we were swimming. There was just water, and we couldn't get out. And yeah, I just basically had to restart the game to get the hell out of there. That was probably the worst bug I had. There were a couple that made me kind of abandon mission. One was where Perp's car, it didn't roll over, it just kind of fell on its side, and he exited and surrendered. But he was standing on top of the car. Nobody could get to it. I was actually on chopper, so I couldn't ram the car and drop him. Might have killed him, which would have been wrong, but anyway, yeah, I couldn't do anything. I just kept calling on cop cars and wishing someone would ram him a little bit. But nope. He was just standing there on top of the car, ready to surrender, and nobody got to him. So I had to abandon the mission. There were a few stuff like that, not too much, but a couple of occasions. Shooting, like I said, I really like it in this game. It really fits in the mood and style of this game, in my opinion. But getting into cover can sometimes be a bit of a bitch. It doesn't always seem to be the most responsive when you're trying to get into cover. And also, if you're sprinting in the cover, A lot of times I ended up kind of vaulting over the cover instead of going into the cover, and yeah, that was not the smoothest when it comes to the whole cover shooting thing, but didn't really ruin the experience. It was just sometimes I kind of had to sprint and then walk slowly, like the last meter, and then press the button and get in the cover. So usually I got hit a couple of times. There were difficulty choices in this game. There was very easy, medium, hard, and very hard. I played on medium because I usually play my games on medium. So in that sense, even though I sucked some bullets because I was trying to get in the cover calmly so I wouldn't fuck that up, I never died because of that. Also, car chases can sometimes be kind of funny because there's a map, there's 2 islands, it isn't the biggest map, and sometimes it feels like the perp is just driving the same goddamn circle behind the same alleyway all the time, and you're chasing them, so yeah, it feels like you're driving in circles, and you basically are. So that was kind of funny. It's not really like thing that bugged me, but it felt kind of stupid. It sometimes kind of, I had a good chase, and then it went into going around the block over and over again. It kind of ruined the great chase feel I had earlier, because then it just turned into a merry-go-round, and But yeah, with that all said, overall, I gotta say I really enjoyed this game. It cost I think 39 or 37 something. I can't remember because I got the limited edition which came with the steelbook, and so yeah, it wasn't the most expensive game, and I believe if you get regular version, that's like, it was on sale on Steam already, and it was 25 euros or something, so not really a bad price. I played this through. It took me 14 hours, so not the longest experience, but for the price, I was more than happy. I want more, because I was really enjoying this. I do hope they possibly make a sequel at some point, or maybe something else with the same type of blueprint that this already kind of laid. I know their earlier game was American Outlaw or American Fugitive, one or the other. I bought that because that looked like GTA. You were actually a perp in that one, and that one wasn't really that great. It was like a 6 out of 10 or something like that, maybe 5 out of 10. It just didn't really work for me. I didn't play it much. In this game, they just improved a hell of a lot on all departments when you compare it to that game. So yeah, I really enjoyed my time with the Precinct, and yeah, I'm really hoping to get more. Just fun, kind of bit more arcadey than simulation style, driving around and being a cop and doing cop stuff. Really just enjoyable game overall. The story is what it is, the characters are what they are, and didn't really care about that. It was more about what was happening while I was playing, the gameplay, the action, all the kind of funny bugs and situations that happened that were unexpected around the map. I just love that kind of stuff. It felt great to, after such a long time, get another one of those top-down, or in this case isometric view, driving games that felt like GTA from cops' point of view. That obviously tones down the carnage and chaos you can create, but still it felt just really fun. Anyway, yeah, I really dug this game, and when it comes to the score of this game, I think I'm gonna go with 8 out of 10. I was thinking about 8.5, but there were bugs. And, it wasn't the perfect experience, but really enjoyable. So I'm gonna go with 8 out of 10. And let me tell you, you pay that 25, maybe even 30. If you feel like this is something you might like, I'm gonna say you're probably not gonna be disappointed. It's something different. It's not that AAA slop we get these days that feels kind of, even though they have so much money behind them and such a huge cruise, this one has passion. This one has like a people, developers behind it that give a crap about the product, and they did real good in this one. I really dig this. Recommend this if you want GTA but from a cop's perspective, or if you're interested in cop simulators but you want something just slightly lighter that doesn't take itself too seriously and gives you a little bit more ground to breathe. You don't have to do everything exactly like you do in, I don't know, Autobahn Police Simulator, which fucking sucked ass. Anyway, yeah, that's about it. That's all I gotta say here. Fuck off, and I'll fuck off, and we'll meet back here when I upload more crap. And yeah, I'm just gonna go do something. Hopefully not break the law. Why did I say hopefully? I could just not break the law. I'm gonna go and do something that doesn't break the law. I might break it a little bit. But yeah, I'll be seeing you. And stay clean. Goodbye.